Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. It is Tuesday, and I am way behind on videos because I've been sick. Obviously, I'm still not 100%, but I feel a lot better than I did. It's also been really cold. We've had some dramas, and things have just got away from me. So I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. So normally I do videos sort of Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Or Wednesday, Friday, Monday-ish. But yeah, I've been all over the place, and I just haven't got there. I haven't got out to the kitchen much. And when I have come out to the kitchen, I've just cooked meals. I haven't bothered with filming anything or editing anything, or just haven't got there. So the plan today, if we can manage it, is to open one of the boxes of banana powder. So when I was in Brisbane last, I managed to get a pallet of boxes of 100% banana powder. Now this was free, only if I took a whole pallet worth. So, I did. And they come in 25 kilo boxes. Just slightly inconvenient. It is 100% banana, and it is apparently baby food grade, and it's short dated, which I don't care because it's dehydrated banana, and it's irrelevant. So I haven't opened a bag yet because I didn't want to open a bag until I was ready to try a few things and to get it bagged back up, because it'll be hygroscopic. It will absorb moisture from the second it's opened. I want to seal it up pretty quick. I do have a friend in Tasmania who I want to send some to as well, but I didn't want to send a 25 kilo box of, so I will bag some up for her as well to put in a satchel, like a 5 kilo satchel or something. And so I'm going to sort that out. So I have a few ideas of what I did. Now, I did a Google. There's not a whole lot of info out there using either freeze-dried or dehydrated banana powder. I did find that apparently about 45 grams of powder is approximately 2 bananas mixed with liquid to make it a similar sort of a consistency, that goopy kind of consistency that banana is when you mash it up. So we're going to work with that. I found a bunch of recipes that have like the chips broken up in it as a textural thing, but not necessarily as a base to it. So we're going to have to experiment a little bit. I also want to try making some ice cream out of the Ninja Creamy with it, and we might make some smoothie pops as well. And I want to use some of it in the instant porridge mix. So we'll see how much we get done once I get the box open. So I've opened the box, but I haven't opened the bag yet. So let's have a look at what we've got. So these are the boxes. And as I said, 5 kilos. Oh. And this is what it looks like. So it doesn't look like it's got anywhere specific to open it, though this part obviously seems taller than the rest of it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to find a jar first up that I can pour a bunch of it into to use for right now. I want to only pierce a corner of the bag so that I can get it pinched nice and closed. Now, I've got a big Kmart jar here. I would have preferred one of the new IKEA ones because I think their lid will be a better sealing than these ones, but I don't have any of these clean at the moment, and I want to introduce water by washing one. So we're going to stick with this for the moment. I need to order more of those IKEA jars because I think I prefer them to these. There's so much dirt, so many places on these that dirt can build up, like underneath the seals as well as on the top and everything else. I think I much prefer these clip lids. I think they seal better, but I also think that I can pull the seals out and clean them, and I can just keep them in general cleaner. So I need to order some more of those. IKEA doesn't deliver these on their own. They will only deliver these jars if you do an order which comes by truck, unless you pick them up yourself. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do there. But in the meantime, these are my Kmart jars, which I've had for many, many years, and I have a few different sizes, and this one's clean. So we're going to give a go with this one. I just want to cut the corner off, as I said, because I'd like to be able to maybe even heat seal it back. Though I probably need to rebag the whole thing. I'm not real sure. I haven't even got it open yet, so we're working on not even a knowledge of what it looks like in there. Oh, just got a face full of it. I'm probably going to have to take this down lower to be able to pour it. All right, so other than the cloud of banana powder dust everywhere, that went fairly smoothly. I think what I'll do though is I'll use my heat sealer, because I only cut a corner off that metal. So for the moment, let's put a lid on that one. And I'm just going to heat seal this. See, I'm going to cut the corner here. So I'm just going to heat seal across the top of that with my vacuum sealer and get this sealed back up for the moment. Get as much air out of it and then heat seal that back up. All right, so let's have a look at this. We've got our banana powder. Let's have a look at what 45 grams looks like to start with. I reckon that was probably about a quarter of a cup. This is a half a cup. So I reckon that was probably about a quarter of a cup. Now let's have a look at how much liquid. So if we've got 45 grams of powder, let's start by adding sort of 20 grams of water. And let's see what it does consistency wise. All right, very much just not quite combined. So let's try adding the same again. Or if we do the same. So if we do 45 grams of powder, 45 grams of liquid. Let's have a look at. You know, I don't know if it would blend better with hot water rather than cold or not, but I feel like that's still a little not as moist as like a banana would be if I was cooking with it. So zero this back out and we'll go, let's try the same again. So we've got twice the water to the powder. All right, so we've got 45 grams of powder to 90 of water. Now the problem is that blending this when we're doing it in stages like this, not always the easiest thing in the world. It feels a bit more like the texture that you'd have of a banana though, if you know there's little bits of chunky bits as well as the bits of gelatinous sort of liquid, the 2-to-1. That definitely looks like a mushed up forked banana to me. So that ends up being 135 grams. Now, when I was doing some Googling and looking up, it said that the weight of a fresh banana, like just mushed up fresh banana, was about 110 grams, see? So this is theoretically 2 bananas worth of powder, but still not the same overall volume as 2 bananas. So it's just going to take some experimenting with. Now, the texture of this is not particularly appealing, but it tastes like banana. It doesn't taste like sweet, ripe banana either though. Like, I'd imagine that this is done when the bananas are still firm, not when they're that, when you're making banana bread and stuff, you want it really, really the black and ripe, whereas this isn't going to be like that. So I'd imagine that the sugar content of this is going to be a bit lower as well, which is why those banana chips aren't as sweet either, because those banana chips are made with the firm bananas because they have to be for them to be able to be sliced. So it's all going to be a bit of a trial and error, isn't it? So when I did my research on different things, 45 grams of powder said was 2 bananas. So this is approximately 2 bananas worth of stuff. Now, I did find a recipe for banana cookies that had dried banana that wasn't rehydrated, so I'm going to give that a go as well. But I feel like this badly needs blending more, which is fine for so I'm going to try making my banana bread. Now, my banana bread has 3 to 4 bananas in it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 90 grams of powder. Sorry, I'm all over the place as per usual because I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do here. So I think I'm going to do the 90 grams of powder, which, sorry, so the 2 lots of 45 grams of powder, which is the equivalent of apparently 4 bananas, but I'm going to add extra liquid to that too. I'm going to add an extra 90 grams of liquid to that as well, and I think that that'll be around about the right amount for my standard recipe, and that's what I'm going to try. Because in my standard recipe, everything goes in the Thermomix and gets blended, and I think that that's going to work well for this. So we've got 180 grams of water to 90 grams of powder, and at the moment it's a weird consistency, but that's fine because we're going to throw it in the Thermomix. So for my banana bread, we have the 3 to 4 bananas go in. So I'm just going to scrape all of this in here, and I could have just put this all directly in here. It was just that we were experimenting. So in future, if this works, I will just put the powder and the water in with the initial ingredients like I normally would, because we've got some stuck to the bottom here as well. All right, so we've got that in there. Now, where is my banana bread recipe? I think it's on my phone. I don't think I've got it written down. So to this, we add 1/3 of a cup of oil. I do have this updated somewhere with weight measurements, I'm sure. And of course not that you guys can see what I'm doing, but my olive oil solid. It got pretty cold this morning. Oh. So you want 1/3 of a cup of oil. All right, had to top up my sugar jar. Now I'm going to use a cup of the coconut sugar. Now coconut sugar is inherently just a little less sweet than raw sugar, and those bananas are going to be a little less sweet, but I do add chocolate chips, so I'm just going to stick with what I've got, and 2 eggs. And 2 big eggs. Now I'm going to blend this up first initially in my Thermomix. My TM7's bowl is dirty, so we're using the 6. Now I've just done that 10 seconds on speed 5 because that's what I would normally do for when I had like mashed banana and stuff in there. And it looks a little wetter, but it does have the similar consistency. But perhaps just a little wetter. We will see how we go. All right, and then we just add the other ingredients. So I'm going to use baking soda, bicarb and baking powder. I need a spoon and some flour. So we do 225 grams of flour. Guys, as I said, I'm so all over the place at the moment. Flour. And I could totally have done all this experimentation off camera and then just shared what worked, but that's not how we do things. So 225-ish grams of plain flour. We're going to do a teaspoon each of bicarb and baking powder. This recipe works really well with gluten-free flours too, which is why I've actually got it saved, because Surreal, when she was a baby, was gluten and wheat-free and everything. And that's where I originally got this recipe from. And if I was doing it gluten-free, the reason I said that is because if I was doing it gluten-free, I would add a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. But because I'm using gluten-based flour, not such a big deal. And then all I'm going to do, and I like to add cinnamon to my banana bread. Optional, but I really like it, and I do like a flat tablespoon because I really like it. And then we're just going to mix this briefly. And then I'm going to grab the chocolate chips out of the freezer. Consistency looks pretty good. Looks pretty normal to me for how I do it. So Kavik heard me mention chocolate chips, so they came delivered. So just a couple of handfuls there. I'm going to keep them there for if I make, there's some cookies and stuff that were listed as well. So this is the thing that will take the longest in the oven. It takes about 45 minutes for banana bread. So we'll get this one in the oven and then we'll start playing with some other stuff. So I'm going to pour this into a tin and get this one in the oven, and then I'm going to come back. All right, next thing I'm going to try is these choc banana cookies. Now this was from a website called Pastry Affair. And we will see. I'm not very good at sticking to recipes, as we know, but it has 100 grams of dried bananas that they powdered. So I'm wondering if I can just use the powdered banana like that and see how that works. So it wants normally you'd powder the chips with the flour initially. I don't need to do that because I've already got it in powdered. So I'm going to do the wet ingredients first. Now I am going to use ghee instead of butter, which here's our first, swap out. I could use Nuttalex, except that we're a little low on Nuttalex at the moment. Though there might be a second tub somewhere. Nuttalex is a lot cheaper to use in baking, especially something that I don't know if it's going to work. So actually I might grab the Nuttalex out. We do have a second whole tub, so that's fine. So I will use this one. So the recipe calls for 113 grams of butter, or a stick of butter. So that's what we're going to go with. Nuttalex behaves slightly differently to butter because it's oil-based rather than fat-based, because it's vegetable oil rather than animal fat. But generally speaking, it's close enough. They might just spread a little bit more. But I find that generally speaking, it's close enough. So we've got 113 grams of Nuttalex. A lot of people in America use palm shortening and things like that, but it's just not as easy to get here. Sugar-wise, it asks for 75 grams of white, 66 grams of brown. It's got a third of a cup, and it's got the two different measurements for the two different types. Again, we're going to deviate slightly because that's what I do. And just go with a cup of the coconut sugar, which is around about the weight of the two combined. So it should be fine. Then we want an egg. So 1 egg. We want some vanilla. So we've creamed that nice and quick because it's Nuttalex, it creams a little bit better, and the Thermomix does a good job. All right, and then we're going to just add in our dry ingredients. So we've got a teaspoon of bicarb, half a teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to add 100 grams of the dried banana powder. So we got 100 grams of that, and then we're going to add 125 grams of flour. Alrighty, and then a pinch of salt, and we're going to get this all, if it was in a bowl I'd fold it, but I'm going to just let the Thermomix do its thing, because we want that distributed nice and evenly. And then we're going to add some chocolate chips because these are choc banana biscuits. So then we're going to add 170 grams, it says. So we're going to follow this for the moment, though that seems like an awful lot of chocolate chips. Far more than I would normally put in a recipe, because that was like 4 handfuls. Normally I only put 2 and things, but we're going to follow the recipe, sort of. I say that on videos all the time, so I'm going to follow the recipe and then I deviate. So, when it doesn't work, I've only got myself to blame, and that's okay, because I understand that. I'm aware that when this doesn't work, it's me who's at fault. So, nice cookie dough consistency though. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to get some trays out, and we're going to do these fairly small and see how they go. And one of the other things I'm going to do, because there's some kids around to test it, is that when the kids have like those sipper flavoured straws and stuff, they just have it with rice milk. And so what I'm going to try out of curiosity is some of this banana powder in milk, and see if it ends up being like a banana Nesquik. I don't know whether it's going to be sweet enough on its own. So let's go a tablespoon of powder, and we'll just do, say, half-ish in rice milk, and we'll get him to whiz it up and give it a try. The dough is quite sticky. I probably would be better off doing this in the KitchenAid and then scraping it into a bowl and refrigerating it before trying to shape it, because it's making a bit of a mess. So we could throw the Thermomix in the fridge to get it a bit firmer before trying to make it into cookies. But
you want me to just throw these in there?
It's up to you. You can keep going if you want. All right, the recipe said 8 to 10 minutes. I couldn't find a tea towel. Took a bit longer. Some of them are starting to burn, and they're going very, very dark. And I don't know whether that's the sugars in the bananas and stuff as well, because they're very soft still. Don't know. It said 8 to 10 minutes. This was about the 10-minute mark. We will see how it goes, and we will taste test them once they're cooled and they've hardened up a bit. Banana bread as well. Now, this was the 45 minutes, which is what I normally cook my banana bread at. But again, it's quite black on the top, and I'm wondering if it's just the banana powder, the extra sugars in the banana powder or something like that. So I think I'll check the inside of it when we cut it, but it might need to be covered for a bit towards the end to stop it from darkening up as much. The biscuits have cooled. They are a nice sort of a snappy but chewy in the middle, a little dark on the bottom. Some of them are a little burnt on the top. I don't know that they taste a whole lot like banana. There is a banana, there is a banana flavour to it, and it is a sort of a sweetness to it. It's odd, but they're actually quite good. So we will make these again. I will reduce the chocolate chips. It's just unnecessary to have this many chocolate chips in a batch of biscuits, because they're just too expensive. Go through them too much. And I might refrigerate the dough next time and give that a go. Though I quite like the way they've spread, because they've ended up kind of crispy on the bottom, and that's what I like about biscuits. But I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to remake these again and try them slightly different but the same. I'm happy with that. I'll let the banana bread cool before I check that. All right, so this has cooled enough to handle, and I'm going to cut it straight down the middle, which isn't something I would normally do, but I want to have a look at the texture. So there we go. So that actually looks pretty good. It's a bit of a finer crumb with the powder rather than with the mashed banana. It's not burned at all inside. None of the bottom of the sides are burnt either. It's just that top. So maybe a piece of foil or something. But let's have a taste test. Definitely holding together nicely. Nice and spongy. We shall try a bit from the middle where the texture will be the most noticeable. I don't think it's as banana-y as... And again, it's dark on top, but it's not burnt. It's just really caramelly, like it's...
It's weird. It's not bad.
No, it's just not quite the same, but...
I don't really like banana.
I could bump the quantity of banana in it though, but the thing is that I think the banana powder tastes a fair bit different to real banana.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But it's not bad. Like, it's still...
I felt good. I need it.
I would too. I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Not bad. I would definitely eat it.
Yeah. And the texture's good and everything else,
And the
so...
cookies are crunchy.
So the banana flavour is different. I think that's because, as I said, the banana powder would be made from like firm, perfectly ripe bananas, not like when you make banana bread, you normally use the really black and really sweet and really mushy bananas. So I think that's the difference in the flavour, is that you've got this banana flavour, but it's more like a fresh, firm, not quite ripe banana versus the flavour but that we'd normally use in baking. I think that's what the difference is. But but it still tastes like banana. The texture is really good. As it's got a bit of a finer crumb because it doesn't have that mashed banana in it. It's got the powder in it instead, but that works fine. Everyone really likes the cookies though, so that works well. As I said, I'd drop the chocolate chips, and maybe I could make them into more of a crunch. When I was doing a lot of research, there was lots of things like chunky monkey cookies, which had like the chips of banana chips in it as a texture, as well as some nuts and chocolate chips and things like that. Maybe I could make an oat-based, like a chewy, crunchy oat-based biscuit with the banana powder in it, with using those ratios as well. So I'm going to have a play with that and see what else I can do. But next thing I'm going to do is make some instant porridge for the kids. So I want to try the banana chocolate flavour that I normally make using the banana powder. But I also have these freeze-dried Pink Lady apples that were sent to me by a viewer, and who she had freeze-dried them herself. And I want to try making some apple cinnamon porridge as well. So while I'm making the banana, I'm going to make this as well, because I may as well while I've got all the ratios of everything out. So that's what I'm going to do next. And we'll give that a go, and we'll see how the porridge tastes with the banana powder too. All right, so we're going to make two different types of the porridge. The base is the same on all the porridge that I make. I start off with 600 grams of oats that I grind down to instant oats. So we're going to put 600 grams. Oops, I've torn the bag. 600 grams. All right, so we've got 600 grams of oats, just normal rolled oats, and we're going to grind them nice and fine. On speed 10. All right, so 30 seconds. You could do a bit shorter, but I was just doing other things. And we got this nice powder of oat flour, basically, which when it's added to boiling water turns into porridge. So all we do is we put the 600 grams of oats per container. So we're going to start with this one, and then I'll do the other 600 grams as well for the other container. Now I do normally double these. I actually normally do 1200 grams per container and do a double batch, but because this is new flavors, I'm only going to do the single batch just in case someone doesn't like it. So another 600 grams for the other flavor. And we'll put the 600 grams in the other one. All right, now we add our sugar, and we do 150 grams of 100 to 150 grams of sugar per batch of 600 grams of oats. Now the banana is not very sweet on its own, but the apple should be fairly sweet. So we'll do. I need another bag of sugar. We'll do the 300 grams between the pair of them, and I'm going to blend that to a powder because we want everything to be the same consistency across the board. So we're going to blend that to a powder. See the powder starting to come out the top, and then we're going to add the coconut milk powder as well, because we want this again to blend through, and then I'll split it between the two containers. Now milk powder, you can do up to 200 grams per 600, and I'm going to stick with the 200 grams because we don't add anything to it. Like if you were going to add a dash of milk or a dash of cream or a dash of something when you were making it, it'd be a bit different, but we don't. It's made just with boiling water, so sometimes I find that it just needs that little bit extra milk powder. So we're going to do 400 grams of the milk powder between the two, which ends up being about 3 cups, I think. So a cup and a half, yeah, about 3 cups. So a cup and a half per batch of porridge. So we're then going to grind this up together with that. And then we're going to split it between the two. So I've got my scales here. It's going to be about 350 per batch. So put this here and zero it. And we've got this lovely fine powdered milk and sugar together, which will blend really well with the porridge. That's the idea of getting it like this. So then we want, 350 of that mix, and there should theoretically, if I've done my maths right, be $3.50 for this one as well. This one's got slightly more than the other one. So we might make, and it's in the right container, that's the choc banana container. So now we're going to do our banana powder. 100 grams. What is a cup's worth, I wonder? Cup's worth is about 200. I'm going to go with the 200. It might be a bit too much. I'm going to see how we go. But the flavour of the banana isn't anywhere near as pronounced because I think, as I have repeated myself, because I'm, figuring this out, because I think it's used optimally textured bananas rather than optimally sweet bananas. So we got that, and we'll add some cocoa to that as well. Which we'll just add about I normally have a scoop in my cocoa. And we're just going to do about 50 grams of cocoa. It can be a little bit overwhelming. So, yeah, around about that sort of third of a cup worth. And then if Sonnet wants to, she can boil the kettle and we can taste it as part of the video too. So then all I normally do is put a lid on and give it a really good shake. So this one, the texture should definitely be better than the last lot I made because I ground up the banana chips, but they were the Costco banana chips. And they definitely didn't grind down very well, and the texture was a little bit strained. So hopefully this will be a better texture for that. So we will give that a go. Sonnet can make one of those up, and all you do is what? You put a quarter of a cup, even amount of water, of boiling water and porridge. So that's what they normally do. All right, so now this one, we're going to do the apple in. So this has just got the coconut milk powder and the sugar in there. So I'm going to use that to grind the apple into a powder. So we have these gorgeous freeze-dried apples. And the texture is really neat. Very cool. But these will grind down into a really nice powder. So let's say what we ended up doing, it doesn't weigh very much when it's only 100 grams in a bag. And I think I'm just going to use it all, which is why I don't buy a lot of freeze-dried fruit for things like this, because it's just too expensive. But this was gifted to us, and I think it's just going to be really tasty. So let me just grind that up. Dehydrated apple in this doesn't work real well texture-wise. The kids aren't huge fans of it. But this will have all that gorgeous apple flavour.
Great.
It's just because of the coconut milk powder and stuff that's in here too. So all that gorgeous apple flavour, and then I'm going to add cinnamon as well. I'm going to add a tablespoon of cinnamon, and then I'm going to shake this up, and then I might try this one as well. This one I think would be a favourite of mine if I was an everyday porridge person, which I'm not really, but I do like it occasionally. Alright, so that's our apple cinnamon, so I'm going to try that one as well. And then I'm going to I'll get these made and then I'll bring you back. But the next thing I'm going to do is ice cream, so I'm going to clean up first. And the last thing with banana powder is we're going to try some ice cream. So I do have one of the big 5 litre goon bags of coconut cream, but I'm not going to open it at the moment because I normally store it in my half-gallon jars, and I've been using my half-gallon jars for device storage and stuff lately, and I don't have enough at the moment, so I need to order some more. They come from Aussie Mushroom Supply, sells them in bulk by the case, I think. Could you find me a spatula or something? And I think normally I bought a few cases. Last time I bought a few cases of them. It's fine. To use for storage, not realizing how much I really liked them as storage. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to split two tins of coconut cream between the 4 try and get equal amounts of the coconut water and heavier cream in each one, and then we'll top them up with water like normal.
And I'm helping.
So normally I would use the goon bag and I'd probably do 300 grams of coconut cream. With the tins it means it's only 200, but it's fine. We're using pudding mix and stuff as well, so it will thicken up nicely. So it gives it that cream base, which is what's needed. All right, so in regards to the banana, I'm really not sure how much to use. As I've been saying over and over again, it's very much not ripe, sweet banana. Wrong one, you have to hit the 0.
I clicked the wrong button.
There we go. And whilst it's banana-ish, it's not, yeah, it's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah.
So I want to use some because I want that hit of banana, and I'm going to use the chocolate Macro Mike protein pudding that I bought because I bought the Jello puddings, which I really like, but they are quite expensive. This was on clearance for like $9.95, and normally I would add some protein powder with the puddings and things like that, so I'm going to give this a go as the pudding to get the texture right for the kids. So I think, I don't think I want, let's go with 30 grams,
And how much of this?
which is like a sixth of a cup of the banana powder, I think. And then, so this is choc peanut truffle fudge. So I think that peanut butter, banana, chocolate, it should be really tasty because that's, you know, like a really tasty mix. And now it says 40 grams is a serving with 60 to 75 mils of liquid. So we might go 80 grams. We'll do a double serve. I got 2 bags. They were both on sale. So we'll take that up to 110 because what we want, the reason for the pudding is normally the starches and stuff in them that help to, yeah, this one's got tapioca flour and stuff in it, which helps to create that texture when it's done by the Ninja Creamy, so that it's not as icy. Water.
Do you hear the...
Yeah, probably because you got it upside down. So we'll top this up with some water.
I want to gush it.
So we'll take it to there, and then we'll gush it, and then we'll top up with more water as needed. Now you can already see the texture of it is quite thick, and that's that pudding mix. The pudding mix also had chunks of biscuit in it as well. You need a bit more water because we can take it all the way up to that max fill line. So we'll take it to the max fill line, and then we'll get it all. All right, so we'll rinse that.
We'll just put it in here.
Yeah, we'll rinse the base off so we don't mix the flavours too. And then we've got that one there. So it's got a nice consistency because that protein pudding powder does the same sort of thing as what the Jello mixes are aimed to do. So that was the plan there. So we've got that one. I keep on meaning to buy some paper masking tape so that I can label these, and I keep on forgetting. But that one there is the protein powder with the with the banana. Now, we made the pistachio last time. Everyone really liked the pistachio. I know we're diverging from the banana now. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do 50 grams of the pistachio, which is what we did last time, and they liked. And then we're going to add some of the vanilla Jello. We can do the 7 gram serve of that. 10 grams, it's fine. Of the vanilla, one of those. And then we'll top up with water. And then,
does that mean it's running out of battery?
yeah, that's on one dot left. And then we'll mix that one up. So we're going to add protein powder to this one as well, which we normally do. Vanilla based, almond based, because the peanut flavour is a little too much in something like this. You're like the peanut flavour in a chocolate based one or whatever is good, but in
And the rest of the water?
you might not need more water. But almond is better in something like this. Now, part of the reason for the protein powder is because, you know, it adds a protein, so it makes it a more filling snack. but also part of it is because there is some sweeteners in the protein powders. So that adds to the sweetness of the ice cream mix as well. So, pistachio one. All right. What else do you want?
I know. Can we get chocolate?
I want another pistachio. Chocolate.
You want a chocolate one? So we've got chocolate jello here. What flavour protein powder do you want with it?
Chocolate. Pistachio.
Pick one then.
Chocolate. Pistachio.
Chocolate.
We should make another pistachio.
All right, so we're going to do the 10 grams of the pudding, which is 1 serve. And then the kids are picking a flavour protein powder to go with it, a chocolatey based one, chocolate hazelnut, so like Nutella flavoured.
This time, don't put it everywhere.
All right, so we got a chocolate one as well. And then the last one,
Pistachio!
they would like another pistachio one. Apparently they really liked the pistachio. So we will do that. It makes my life easier. And then I'll make a few for Darryl and I, but you don't need to see me doing that. This was all sort of just to finish off the
Stuff to do for the kids because they want it.
the banana stuff mostly.
Can I change the protein?
You just want vanilla one? That's what we normally do with the pistachio? Yeah?
Well, the reason it's a pistachio.
Kavik.
So we got a vanilla and we need a
Love it. Mama. I already asked the fun stuff.
10 grams of the vanilla. Too much, but that's enough. Because you only need to get to the max fill line. All right, now put it in there before you turn it on. In the bottom, yep. Then turn it on. The button's on the front to make it go, yep. Keep it nice and low.
And you have to hold it.
Oh, I didn't.
Mind you, your hands are filthy. Don't touch any of the food. All right, so second pistachio one done. So that's those 4 for the kids to go into the freezer. And then I'm going to make some for Darryl and I as well. But yes, I'll come back and finish off shortly. And now I have to clean up again. So some made for Darryl and I. Now these are only half serves. We only fill them halfway and Darryl and I share them and quite often share them over like 2 nights. It's not whereas the kids eat a whole one between them and would probably eat 2 if I allowed it, but they don't really need it. That's why we buy ice cream cones too, because it feels like they're getting more when they have it in an ice cream cone. So yeah, these are only half serves and probably last Darryl and I 2 nights. So I did a pistachio one for myself with some of the vanilla pudding and stuff like that. I did a cookie butter one using the Choc Zero cookie butter and the caramelized biscuit protein powder. So the 2 flavors and then the vanilla pudding. I did a grape jello one. So it's grape instant, the sugar-free gelatin jelly, not the instant jelly, and I'm going to try it. I'm not sure how well it's going to work because I didn't dissolve it in hot water first. We'll give it a go with some vanilla pudding and then a chocolate one, chocolate pudding, chocolate protein powder and stuff like that. So they're the 4 to go in the freezer for Darryl and I as well, and that's it. And now I need to clean up again. Right, so that's done. So I think that's it for today, other than having to make dinner. Darryl's in Toowoomba today actually, and I got him to buy some salad kits while he's there. So I might just cook up some chicken thighs and we can have chicken and salad and mayo and cheese and stuff for dinner. Sounds good to me. But yeah, so we tried the banana bread and the banana cookies. The banana cookies, definitely a winner. The banana bread is perfectly fine. Not as nice as with fresh banana though. And again, repeating myself, but I think it's because it's not ripe banana. It's just banana. The instant porridge, I forgot to show you, I think, once we mixed it up. So we mixed it up, put it with the boiling water and tried it. Everyone tried it. And again, it's nice and they'll eat it. But it's definitely not the same as if you had like fresh banana slices in your porridge or anything like that. And the apple worked out really well too. Apple cinnamon, I really like apple cinnamon. So it does have an odd colour to it. It's a little bit grey, not sure why. But the kids I'll give them the next few days to try it a couple of times, make it for themselves and try it, and then I'll give you a better feedback on it, because it's not really great feedback, just getting them to have a tiny taste. The banana ice cream we will try, and I don't think I came back and told you how the banana powder in the rice milk went. So again, it's not really like a banana. I was hoping it would almost be like a banana Nesquik type thing. I know it's not sweetened, but that was the hope. But even though it's fresh banana, it almost has a synthetic banana flavour to it. It is odd. It is very odd. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to use it all, because it's not quite what I expected. But it was free and I wasn't going to say no. And we will figure out ways. And even just adding some of it to smoothie mixes and smoothie pops, because that was the other thing I was going to do today, and I'm not really up for it, is make some smoothie pops. And adding the banana to it in that sense, when you've got all the other fruits and stuff, I think would be quite nice. And it's a good boost of potassium and things like that. But I think it'll be a long time before we get through it. Unless we can't get bananas for some reason, which seems unlikely. So anyway, that was my first lot of testing. If anyone has any recipes or anything to do with it, please leave them in the comments or give me some ideas, because I'm really just not sure exactly how to use it. So I'm still just testing the waters with it. So if you've got anything to share, please do. And I will let you know how the rest of it went. And that's it for today. I'm ready to finish. It is 3 o'clock, so it's not all that late, but I just made myself a new coffee. So I'm going to put these in the freezer, wipe the bench down, cover up the banana breads and stuff, and go and cuddle a kitten for a while, I think. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for joining me again.